Here's a photograph I took in Prague of the cathedral there, and it's okay, but you know, I'd like the sky to be a little bluer and the building to be a little warmer, to give it a little character. So what I need to do is I need to select the sky. Now, really the worst thing you could do is try to use the magic wand to get all the pieces and get everything to be selected, because if you look closely, the selection outlines don't really go into all the detail. And if I use this as my mask, it would really give a very cut out look and look very false. So I'm going to deselect. What I need Photoshop to help me make a good mask. I'm going to start by inspecting the channels, click on red, green, and blue. And what I'm looking for is I'm looking for the best black and white image. Let's look again. I'll zoom into 100%. Red, green, blue. In this instance, the blue channel has the best contrast between the cathedral and the sky. So I'm going to duplicate the blue channel by dragging it down to the new channel icon. And now I need to enhance the contrast. I need the sky to be white and the building to be black. One very good way of doing that is to use Image Adjust Curves. I'm going to bring up the info palette. I have it set to K to read out in percentages of white to black. And where the sky is now, it's at 12, 13%. I need that to be white. So what I'm going to do is click and hold and drag along the top part of the highlight. And I'm always double checking. I'm seeing I'm still at 4. I didn't go far enough. Until that sky is white. And give it just one little more nudge. Now you don't want to overdo it. You know, if you think that looks good, that's not going to look better. So you just want to do it to get the sky to white. Now, I'm going to enhance the shadow detail of the cathedral by taking my shadow point and dragging along the bottom. You can see the building getting dark. This takes a little bit of practice. You want to keep an eye on the relationships. Once again, don't add too much contrast, or else you'll lose a lot of the transitions that are very important between the sky and the background. I'm actually going to back off a little bit. If you add too much contrast, any of the transitions will be lost and the building will look too cut out. I'm going to click OK. So now I have a very contrasty mask in the alpha channel, but I need to make the building completely black. I'm going to use my lasso tool. Make sure that you use a feather of 0 when doing this. And if you hold down the Option Alt key, you can turn the standard lasso tool into the free-form lasso tool. I'm just clicking around, staying inside of the building because I really don't want to select the very close edges. And I'm going to force fill this with black, which is Option or Alt Delete. Go select, deselect. Now, there's still some work to do. I still have to make those edges completely black. I'm going to use a brush. You can work on your alpha channels. Oops. You can work on alpha channels and it won't affect the image, but look what happens if I just paint. I'm losing all the detail of the edge of the cathedral. Here's a great little tip. Change the blending mode of your brush to overlay. And what that will do is when you paint with black, the white areas will not be affected. Okay? If I had some white areas that still had a little dirt in them, I would use white, and then the black won't be affected. I use this all the time for all types of masking. I'm just going to work around here pretty quickly because I will refine the final composite with the layer mask. And for this technique to work, you need to lift up, well, I'm using a Wacom tablet. I lift the tablet up, the stylus up, and I start over again. If you're using a mouse, release the pressure of the mouse button and click and start again. And that, in a way, gives you fresh ink to paint with. Okay, I'm almost all the way around. And that's giving me a pretty good outline. I could go back and let me set that brush back to normal and use a very small brush to get these last final details in. Do a little cleanup. But I can also do that on the layer mask. I don't think this is really going to show up. Okay, now the sky is white. That's exactly how I want it. And the building is black because I want to enhance the sky. There's step one. I've made the mask. Step two, target RGB. I'm going to return to my layer and load the selection. I'm going to use the Command key, Command Option 4. So the sky is beautifully selected. I've gone into all the detail. And now I'm going to use a photo filter. The cooling filters add a beautiful blue color. You can try both of them to see which blue you prefer. Back off just a touch. Now, as you can see, Photoshop has transferred the selection of the alpha channel into the layer mask, which is why the building isn't turning blue. I think I'd like to warm that building up a little bit. But I don't want to have to select it all over again. What I can do is simply duplicate the photo filter layer, which is giving me two blues. I'm going to invert the mask, Command or Control I. Of course, now the building's blue, but because I'm working with an adjustment layer, I can double click and I'll choose a warming filter. And now it actually looks like the sun's out a little bit, doesn't it? Now, it's important to be a little critical. If this building was really in this lighting with the blue sky, the windows would be reflecting blue. And this is step 5. I made the alpha channel. I targeted where I wanted the effect to take place. I loaded it. I activated it. I did something with it. That was the photo filter adjustment layer. And now I want to refine the composite. I want a little hint of blue to come through on these windows. The center layer is my blue layer. I'm going to select the windows. And now, if I simply hit delete, pure blue will come through. You can see the blue here. If that's too much, I'm going to undo that. You can actually fill the mask with any shade of black or white, and also gray. And what that's going to do is let just a hint of blue show through. Let me zoom in. I'm going to undo that so you can see it. See that little bit of blue? It's perfect. And I'm going to Option Alt click on the mask so you can see what I did. So that little bit of gray, without and with, is letting the blue shimmer through. So what I'm going to do is select these other primary windows and fill with gray. Now, depending on how exacting you are, you can decide if you want to paint in a little bit of gray on the round windows, but I'm not going to do that. This is a vacation snapshot. Let's back out for a moment, and I'm going to turn these two layers on and off. So this is before with the blue and with the building warmed up. And it gives the image a little richness that I really appreciate. So remember, make the alpha channel, target it, load it, do something with it, and then refine it to make your images really come to life.